So, are there characters that are expected of, highly placed people? Of course, yes. Are there character traits that are expected of people who are placed above you in the religious setting, in the social setting, in the political setting? Oh, yes, of course. But at the same time, I would want to point out that, you see, there is a big contrast between the character and the calling. I'm putting the calling now to generalize whatever it is um, that the person so called is doing, be it in politics or religious setting or the social setting. Because this is one of the reasons why we find ourselves um, holding people in high regards, and at the end of the day, it's like our faith in them is dashed. What do I mean by that? So, just because someone is your spiritual leader doesn't mean that he's not human, doesn't mean that he's not frail, doesn't mean that it doesn't have flaws. Okay? But we tend to somehow revere them as God or reverence them as God, so to say. And at the end of the day, when they fall, when they falter, begin to kind of like, we don't expect this from you. We weren't expecting this behavior from you. And we forget the fact that he is human, even though he is in a position where he's supposed to hold himself in high regard, set a standard for others to follow. We forget that he's human, that he can fall. We forget that he has blood flowing through his veins. And we tend to become disappointed. Meanwhile, with this is just a human being like you and I. So let's not forget that between the called, or rather the called and his character are separate entity. If somebody is not disciplined, if you put him in a position of authority, he's still going to remain the same way. Nothing is going to change his character. Even though he has a calling, to let me just use maybe a prophet or a man of God, as the case may be in the religious setting. If he does not have discipline for women, be he a GO, that's general overseer of a particular church, is still going to have the same issue because his character is not redefined yet. So we'll begin to have the same issue that he has even when he was still a nobody. So the position is not going to change him because that's how we feel. We feel like if someone is in a high position or an esteemed position, is supposed to, of course, yes, there are certain behaviors that we expect from people in um, in such um, position, but then let's not put too much hope on them that they are going to change or overnight because of the position they now occupy. They should turn a new leaf and start um, being a saint. So one's character, if the person has not really worked on his character, no matter the position he occupies, is still going to remain the same. That's just the point I'm trying to prove. Okay, so that's just what I'm trying to pass across. So when we begin to hold people in high regard, and for instance, in the Christendom, I mean, we hold our pastors in high regard so much that we tend to believe everything they say without even consulting our own manual, which is the Bible, the Word of God. And by the time they fall or they make a mistake, then will be we start ranting, we start shouting, he has failed. We expected so much from him. Yeah, you expected so much from him, but he's human. So let's cut them some slacks. Okay? They are human. Our greatest role model is God, is Jesus Christ. So instead of putting our hopes too much on man that can fail, that can falter, that can, sleep his steps, we should put our hope, our trust in the one that can't fail. Our, greatest role model should be Jesus Christ. That's the one we should pattern our lives, after. All right. I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.